Unlimited shrimp, endless pancakes, bottomless fries. It sounds like generosity, but it's actually economics. In a time when groceries are up 25% since 2020, the idea of all-you-can-eat feels almost nostalgic. IHOP, Red Lobster, Golden Corral, they're offering abundance while everyone else is raising prices. But behind that bottomless deal is a ruthless equation, one that shows how corporate America learned to sell scarcity disguised as generosity. This isn't a story about food, it's a story about profit strategy, behavioral economics, and how a buffet line became a masterclass in consumer control. Welcome to the Kitchen Report, where we don't taste the trends, we trace the transactions. The origin of abundance. The all-you-can-eat buffet didn't start as a corporate trick, it started as a post-war fantasy. In the 1950s, or 1950s, like the youth like to refer to it, Las Vegas casinos offered all-you-can-eat meals as a way to keep gamblers inside longer. They weren't selling food, they were selling time and distraction. By the 1970s and 80s, the buffet model went mainstream. Family restaurants like Ponderosa and Golden Corral turned it into a middle-class ritual, proof that America could still afford plenty, but the economics were already shifting. What began as a $3 meal designed to feed the masses soon became a high-margin experiment in controlling consumption. The hard numbers. You have to understand as a consumer, there is a profit formula, not the customer. You are the variable. Buffet owners know the math down to the ounce. The average diner consumes about 1.4 pounds of food, costing the restaurant roughly $4.50 in raw materials. If they charge $13.99, their gross profit margin exceeds 65%, even after factoring in waste. How? Because the entire setup is psychological. Buffets are scamming you, the business model they don't want you to understand. You walk into a buffet thinking you're beating the system. All you can eat, $19.99, you're ready to make that restaurant regret their life choices. But you won't, because the buffet has already done the math and you've already lost. This isn't about food, it's about behavioral economics, supply chain psychology, and the subtle art of controlled gluttony. Let's dissect it. Number one, the math behind all you can eat. When a buffet charges you $19.99, they're not pricing for generosity. They're pricing for averages, the true cost. Here's the secret formula. Most people eat about 1.5 pounds of food total. That includes everything: starches, proteins, desserts, and drinks. Now, the average cost per pound of buffet food, around $2.50 to $3 wholesale. Even if you eat until you hate yourself, you're probably costing them $8 to $9 total in food. Add $2 of labor and $1 of overhead, they still clear a clean profit margin around 40 to 50%. You think you're eating unlimited food. They know you're eating predictably, and that's their real edge. Number two, the psychology of small spoons. Notice how buffet serving utensils are weirdly small? That's not random, that's portion psychology. People tend to fill their plate based on the size of the serving spoon, not their actual appetite. A study in the Journal of Consumer Research found that smaller utensils reduce consumption by up to 14% without anyone realizing it. So while you're politely scooping mac and cheese with that baby spoon, the buffet's profit margin thanks you. Number three, the liquid trap. The server who keeps refilling your drink, they're not being nice. They're running strategy. Soda costs the restaurant about 4 cents per refill. You drinking more liquid means you're physically fuller, faster. It's a high-midget appetite suppressant served in a chilled glass. That's why soda machines are always self-serve and right at the entrance. You hydrate before you even start stacking plates. Number four, the cheap front load. When you walk into any buffet, the first thing you see is carbs. Bread rolls, mashed potatoes, salad bars with ranch and cheese. This is plate architecture. They want you to front load your appetite with low-cost, high-volume filler foods before you reach the expensive proteins. The average plate weight doubles by the time people hit the main entrees, so most people are already half full before they ever see the prime rib carving station. It's not just smart, it's diabolical. Number 5, the controlled stations. Ever wonder why the steak or omelet bar always has a chef serving you? It's not customer service, it's portion policing. That chef is basically security in an apron. They're there to make sure nobody takes 6 omelets or a mountain of shrimp. Behind the scenes, most buffets budget no more than 3 ounces of premium protein per guest. Every extra slice of meat you sneak throws off their profit math, but they make sure you don't. Number 6, the illusion of abundance. Buffets are built to look overflowing, but it's all visual psychology. They use shallow trays and frequent restocking to make food appear endless, even though the total inventory is tightly controlled. Lighting plays a role too. Warm, golden tones make food look richer and fresher than it actually is. Even the plate color matters. White plates make portions look larger. Smaller plates make you feel like you're eating more. Everything is engineered to convince your stomach it's winning when it's actually surrendering. Number 7, the leftover loophole. Here's the kicker. Buffets don't lose much on waste because most of that food gets repurposed. Yesterday's mashed potatoes, today's shepherd's pie. Extra chicken, tomorrow's stir-fry special. Even soup bases are built from old sauces, bones, and trimmings. It's all part of waste monetization, a system where unsold food becomes next day's ingredient, keeping costs razor thin. Number 8, the cost of your guilt. Buffets also rely on social psychology. People don't want to look greedy. When others are around, most diners subconsciously limit how much they take. In psychology, that's called normative social influence, the desire to conform to perceived group behavior. So those small serving spoons, open layouts, and visible stations aren't just efficient, they're built to shame you into moderation. You pay for unlimited, but your social programming caps your intake for free. Number 9, the economics of waste management. Even food waste is part of the plan. In the buffet industry, waste ratios are priced into profitability models. Most buffets expect about 17 to 25% plate waste, and they use that number to adjust bulk orders, staffing, and pricing. The trick? They buy everything in hyper cheap bulk through food service distributors like Cisco or US Foods, where the cost per unit drops as waste rises. So the more they waste, the cheaper it gets per pound. Crazy, right? But it works. Efficiency through excess. Number 10, the real money, not the food. Here's the real secret. Buffets don't make most of their money on food. They make it on liquor, soft drinks, and time. Every minute you stay at the table sipping a refill or waiting in line is a minute you're not eating. Buffets are designed to waste your time while making you think you're indulging. They also profit from predictable loss leaders. That steak you came for, it's bait. Your soda, dessert, and wasted plate space are the real profit engines. Number 11, the corporate side. The buffet game is dominated by private equity firms and franchise conglomerates. Chains like Golden Corral or Chinese buffets often have complex shell structures for supply purchasing and cost shielding. Many of them operate on razor-thin margins per guest, but massive volume throughput. Their goal isn't flavor, it's flow. The faster the rotation of seats, the higher the hourly revenue density. So next time you see a family-friendly buffet chain, understand you're stepping into a real-time economic simulation, not a restaurant. Number 12, the supply chain behind your plate. Almost everything on your buffet plate came from the same few sources. The chicken, probably Tyson or Purdue. The vegetables, bulk imports from Mexico or China. The desserts, frozen from Cisco warehouses. Buffets depend on cold chain logistics, massive refrigerated networks that move bulk food across continents. They can buy in such massive quantities that a single location can serve food at below retail grocery cost. They're not chefs, they're food brokers with heat lamps. Number 13, the buffet's future. The modern buffet is evolving. Ghost kitchens and data-driven food models are taking over. Chains now use AI demand forecasting to predict exactly how much food to prepare based on traffic patterns, weather, and even social media trends. Every fresh tray you see is calculated by algorithm, not instinct. And in some franchises, facial recognition cameras measure how long customers linger to optimize table turnover. This isn't the hospitality industry anymore. It's behavioral analytics wrapped in garlic bread. Number 14, the final take. So no, buffets aren't scamming you in the con artist sense. The consensus break. They're scamming you in the economic efficiency sense. They've mastered the art of giving you the illusion of abundance while controlling every bite, sip, and social cue. It's the perfect system. You leave feeling full. You leave with your profit margin. That's not a meal. That's a market. The buffet decline. Between 1998 and 2017, the number of all-you-can-eat buffets in the US fell 26%, while total restaurant openings rose 22%. Why? Because casual dining took the same concept and made it more sophisticated. Applebee's, Olive Garden, and Red Lobster learned they didn't need to offer unlimited everything, just unlimited something. Endless shrimp, bottomless soup and salad, unlimited refills. Each of these phrases became a corporate goldmine, offering the illusion of abundance while keeping costs contained. A 6-week endless shrimp campaign could boost quarterly revenue by 5 to 8%, according to Red Lobster's former marketing execs. These aren't food specials, they're demand algorithms wrapped in breadcrumbs. Red Lobster, the death of an icon. The shrimp defense, why Red Lobster was always doomed. Look, Red Lobster used to be the gold standard. They were the inventor of casual dining, the place you took a decent date in the 80s, but then they got infected. The financial engineers saw a brand with valuable real estate and zero debt-proof armor. They want you to think the ultimate villain was the customer who ate 65 shrimp. Wrong. The real kill shot happened in a boardroom years earlier. In 2014, when the private equity sharks bought the company, their first move wasn't a menu change, it was a sale leaseback. This is a magic trick where they sell the company's most valuable asset, the land and buildings, for cash, then force the company to rent it back at an insane price. The cost. This created a monstrous $190 million annual lease burden. You have to understand that number. That's a fixed, unavoidable costs they had to cover before they paid the light bill, before they paid the staff, and before they bought a single Cheddar Bay biscuit ingredient. The company was now stuck in what we call a financial gravity well. This meant every operational choice, the price of the shrimp, the staff ratio, the quality of the butter, was dictated not by hospitality, but by the relentless need to service that $190 million debt. When they finally rolled out the $20 Ultimate Endless Shrimp deal in 2023, it wasn't a sustainable promotion. It was a desperate, radioactive Hail Mary to generate foot traffic and cash flow to offset the debt clock ticking in the basement. The math of doom. The price was too low, the debt was too high, and the promotion worked too well. The company generated an $11 million operating loss in one quarter. That loss wasn't because of a few hungry guys. That loss was the debt trap finally snapping shut. Let's talk about the local connection here. This is why 9 local seafood spots in my city died. They didn't have a private equity fund to sell their land to. They just had the $8 per pound shrimp price and the crushing pressure of competing against a massive corporate chain running a $20 loss leader, a chain that was only running that loss leader to avoid insolvency from a financial scheme. They were killed by the ripple effect of corporate financial suicide. The failure of Red Lobster is the ultimate object lesson in how financial engineering kills food quality and service. Now you know who the real villain is. The modern manipulation. All you can eat isn't a restaurant gimmick anymore, it's a subscription model. DoorDash, Dash Pass, Uber One, Panera's Unlimited Sip Club. For $11.99 a month, consumers are conditioned to believe in limitless convenience. The buffet didn't disappear, it evolved into the cloud. Behind every subscription deal is the same principle. The average customer never consumes what they pay for. In Panera's case, only 38% of unlimited drink subscribers even redeem one drink per day. It's the buffet psychology. Automated restaurants, delivery apps, and corporate food chains now gamify consumption patterns, training you to overvalue access and undervalue quality. The next all-you-can-eat isn't about food. It's about data. The true cost, the Mike hangover. Every time we're sold unlimited, someone else is paying the tab, and it's usually the workers. Buffet workers average $2 less per hour than their casual dining counterparts. Food waste in the buffet industry averages 15% higher than in a la carte restaurants. And the illusion of endless choice conditions consumers to accept lower quality food, cheaper oils, rehydrated proteins, and pre-frozen vegetables because the volume distracts from the value. This is how a $12 buffet survives inflation while your grocery bill doubles. From buffet lines to mobile apps, from shrimp deals to delivery plans. The lesson is simple. Whenever someone sells you unlimited, ask who's doing the limiting. Every buffet, every subscription, every bottomless promise has a cap hidden in fine print. And it usually protects the business, not the consumer. This is the quiet architecture of consumption, and understanding it is the first step in reclaiming your plate. Your report card, the game plan, break the system. You have the tools to protect your pocket. Now let's talk about protecting your community. Your report card, the final mandate. Commit to spending the $364 you saved on the beverage boycott only at local independent shops over the next year. That money pays a living wage and stays in your community. This is not charity. This is local economic investment with guaranteed returns for your neighborhood. Assignment 2, the POS system audit. Directive. Always call the restaurant directly for takeout. Do not pay the 30% delivery app tax. And if you dine in, pay with cash or a debit card to starve the credit card processing fees, typically 2.5% to 3.5% is what you're going to pay at minimum. You are giving the small business back an immediate 3 to 5% margin that they desperately need to survive. Truth number 2. The menu anchor and COGS calculator. They put a $45 item on the menu to make the $25 endless special look like a steal. Here's a tip for you. Never buy the anchor item. Its only job is to manipulate your perceived value. The test for quality. We know these corporate all-you-can-eat marketing campaigns push cost of goods sold, or also called COGS below 20%. Your benefit. Use this knowledge to determine if you are actually getting quality food. Let's dive into the COGS quick math. The food cost percentage for a high-quality, sustainable, independent restaurant is 30 to 35%. Therefore, a menu item's price should be roughly 3 times the wholesale cost of the main ingredient. If a restaurant sells a steak for $18, but a decent raw steak costs them $8 wholesale, they are sacrificing quality, or something else is deeply subsidized. Your directive starts spending money only where the COGS indicates quality. If a menu item is wildly cheap relative to the raw ingredient cost, you are buying subsidized debt, not food. Truth number 3. The 1000% beverage boycott is your direct savings. We know the drink is the single biggest profit generator. Your benefit? Immediate measurable savings. Your directive? Always order water. Seriously. If you drink 2 sodas, teaser cocktails per week at $3.50 each, that's $7 per week, over 52 weeks, that's $364 in pure handed over profit. Dwell on that thought for a second. Stop it! That $364 is your investment capital, as I mentioned previously. The math is undeniable. The next time you see all you can eat, remember, they're not feeding you endlessly, they're feeding the illusion of control. You're watching The Kitchen Report, where your plate has a price tag, your appetite has a strategy, and your satisfaction was forecasted 30 days ago by a spreadsheet in Delaware. We give investigative economics for people who want to know what they're really paying for.